Hi, I'm Jared, and today is a very exciting day here at Sejent because today we unveil our flagship product to the world, the LagBuster. Before I tell you what the LagBuster does, let me ask you a question. Are you sick and tired of seeing lag in your online games, such as this? Or this? Or this? Do you spend half of your time gaming complaining about how your internet is too slow to play your games lag-free? Well, let me tell you that your internet is more than fast enough to play any game lag-free. The problem is competing traffic on the network. Now, you may think that you don't run any programs on your computer and that you're the only one using your internet while you play games, but there is always competing traffic on the network. It could be background processes on the computer, VoIP, operating system updates, or even people just flat out stealing your Wi-Fi. But none of that is a problem if you own a LagBuster. Because what the LagBuster does is measures how much bandwidth your games require and makes sure that you always have enough bandwidth available to play those games lag-free, regardless of what else is happening on your network. It also ensures that competing traffic never interferes with the game traffic, so your game runs as smoothly as possible. Never again will you be able to blame a loss on your slow network, and gone are the days of teleporting from place to place due to lag. If you have a LagBuster, the only thing standing between you and victory are your own skills. The LagBuster lets you truly unleash the power of your game. Now, before I continue with the demo, I'm going to take you behind the scenes and show you how you set up the LagBuster and how the demo is going to work. And I'll also show you one of the LagBuster's features that will allow me to demonstrate exactly how much of an impact the LagBuster is having on the game. Now let's go take a look at how we set up the LagBuster. So before we get started playing our game, we're going to take a quick look at our network setup. Right now this LagBuster is disconnected. So we have this set up just like your typical home network setup. We have our DSL modem, our Linksys broadband router. They're connected via this white Ethernet cable. It goes from the Ethernet port of the modem into the LAN port of the router. So now we're going to connect this LagBuster so we can use it while we play the game. We're going to pull out the Ethernet cord from the back of the modem. We're going to plug it into either Ethernet port on the back of the LagBuster. It does not matter which, since they're completely interchangeable. So now this white cord is connecting the LagBuster to the WAN port of the router. So we're going to plug in this other one into the empty Ethernet port. And we're going to plug the other end into the modem. In a second you'll see the lights change as the LagBuster finds the router and the modem. So now we're all set up. We have the modem, which is connected to the LagBuster with this red cord. The LagBuster, which is connected to the router with the white cord. And all of our network components are connected to this router here. This yellow cable is connected to the Xbox 360, the game system that we'll be playing the games on throughout the demo. And this blue cord is connected to the PC. And I'm going to be using that PC to upload a file to generate lag and to access the control panel. Now the control panel actually comes from the LagBuster. It's very similar to the admin control panel that you have on your router, but ours is a lot cooler. It has a lot more features, and we'll go take a look at one of those right now. Now throughout the demo, I'll be using the LagBuster control panel to show you exactly what is happening on the network while I play the games. So we're going to go to the control panel now. Pull up a browser and I'll type in cp.lagbuster.com. So there you have it, we're at the control panel. We're going to click on gear, and these are the LagBuster performance meters. This meter on the right is my network bandwidth meter. It represents the entire bandwidth of my network. The LagBuster will measure my bandwidth and display the measured value here in real time. Right now you can see that I have close to 350 kilobits per second of bandwidth available, and that's pretty standard for a DSL connection. Now this pointer shows the percentage of my available bandwidth that I'm using. Right now I'm not playing a game or sending any type of traffic over my network, so you can see I'm using 0% of my bandwidth. You might notice that this meter goes past 100%. That's because it's possible to try to send more traffic through your network than it's capable of handling. When you do that, the extra traffic is lost or dropped, and if that traffic is game traffic, the result is lag. The right meter deals with both game and non-game traffic on my network, but this left meter deals specifically with the game traffic. These bars show the percentage of my total bandwidth that's being reserved specifically for games. Right now, my Xbox is on, but I'm not playing a game, so you can see that the LagBuster is only reserving a tiny fraction of my total bandwidth. As I start a game, the LagBuster will measure how much bandwidth that game requires and throttle this value accordingly. This pointer shows the percentage of the reserved bandwidth that my game is using at any given time. As long as it does not stay at 100% for too long, I will always have a little bit more bandwidth than I need to play my game lag-free. Finally, we have the Disable LagBuster button. I'll be using this button to provide an A/B comparison of what my game looks like with and without a LagBuster connected to my network. When I press it, the LagBuster becomes disabled, but it is still powered on, so I still have access to the performance meters. You can see here that the LagBuster is no longer reserving any bandwidth for my game, but this right meter is unaffected. I will still be able to see how much bandwidth I'm using and how much bandwidth I have available. Now I'm ready to search for an online game. Now remember that throughout this demo, I'm going to be playing real Xbox Live quick matches with real people from around the country. And I'm going to begin the demo with EA's NHL 10. Now the reason we start with NHL 10 is because it makes lag very easy to see. Most of you gamers out there know that lag is much easier to feel than it is to see. In NHL 10, when one player lags, the whole game slows down, allowing you to really see the effect that the LagBuster has on the game. Now that I've found an opponent, you can see on the game bandwidth meter that I'm only using a very small amount of my reserved bandwidth because the game is not yet started. As the game is loaded, you can see a spike in the amount of game traffic on the network, but it is still a very small percentage of my overall bandwidth. For this to be an effective demo, I need to ensure that my network is lagging at the exact moment that I disable the LagBuster by uploading a file to megaupload.com. Now that the upload is started, you can see that my network bandwidth usage is near 100%. As we begin, pay attention to the smoothness of the game, specifically to the player animations. You can see that even though I'm flooding my network with traffic, the player animations are smooth and fluid. There's no choppiness to their movements. Also pay attention to the overall speed of the game, as it will change when I begin to experience lag with the LagBuster disabled. Finally, notice that when I press the button to pass the puck, the player passes the puck immediately, and it travels from point A to point B without delay, even though I'm flooding my network with traffic. You should now have an idea of how the game behaves when we have a LagBuster managing the network. Notice that we are still using close to 100% of the network's bandwidth, but the game is still running smoothly. Now watch as I disable the LagBuster. The LagBuster is now disabled, and almost immediately, you can see the effects of lag. The game animations are no longer smooth and fluid, they're choppy, and the entire game almost seems to be in slow motion. Now I will re-enable the LagBuster, and again, as soon as the LagBuster is enabled, the game returns to normal. Animations are once again smooth and fluid, and the game is no longer in slow motion. I'll disable the LagBuster one more time. LagBuster is disabled, and again, the effects of lag are almost immediately apparent. Now with the LagBuster disabled, there's a delay from the time that I press the button to when the player actually passes the puck. Alright, we've got a goal, and now that you're familiar with the LagBuster, we can head on over to Call of Duty Black Ops and finish up the demo there. So now that I'm in Call of Duty Black Ops, I'm going to have to slow down the gameplay footage to show you what's happening. I'm going to pull the trigger right now, and you can see that when I have the red dot over the enemy, the first time that I pull the trigger with the LagBuster enabled, my weapon registers a hit. Now if we check the control panel, you can see that I'm flooding my network with over 120% of the available bandwidth. Watch when I press the reload button. My character reloads immediately without delay. This is very similar to when I press the pass button in hockey. When I'm lagging, there will be a significant delay between the time that I press the button and when I reload. This same delay happens when I pull the trigger, but it's much more difficult to see because the developers try to hide the lag by animating the weapon fire, whether your character is actually firing or not. That is why I need to slow down the gameplay animation to show you when the red dot is actually over an enemy and when the weapon really registers a hit. Now that the LagBuster is disabled, I can show you that without a LagBuster, there is a delay between when I press a button on my controller and when the game actually recognizes that a button has been pressed. Now the red dot is over the enemy, I'm firing, and there's no hit register. Pay attention to when I press the reload button now. There's a significant delay between the time that I press the button and when the weapon actually reloads. As I re-enable the LagBuster, pay attention to the bars on the right side of the screen. I start with 1 and move up to 3. These bars are the game's measurement of the quality of my connection. 1 bar means a poor connection, and 4 bars means a perfect connection. When the footage is slowed down, you can see that I miss the enemy with the first couple shots, but then when I get the red dot on him and pull the trigger, I register a hit, even though my network is completely flooded, as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Take a moment to watch as I play the game with the LagBuster enabled. Notice that when I fire with the red dot on an enemy, the hits are registered without delay. So now I'm going to disable the LagBuster one more time, and watch the bars. They'll go from 3 down to 1, and you can see that my network is still being flooded with traffic. I'm going to run up here to where the enemies are. Now there's a good glitch there. You see that it didn't hit the guy until after I shot. And there you can see that the red dot is on the enemy and I'm firing and I'm not registering any hits. If you look here on the kill cam, it shows that I only fired 3 times. That's the amount of times that actually went through the network to the other player. But on my screen, if we rewind, we can see that it looked like I fired 5 times. That's due to the delay caused by lag when the LagBuster is disabled. And to eliminate that delay, all you need is a LagBuster. So there you have it, the LagBuster in action. If you'd like to see more, head on over to lagbuster.com where you can find extended gameplay footage, as well as videos highlighting some of LagBuster's other features. Once again, I'm Jared, and thank you for watching Sejent's first ever public demo of the LagBuster.